Coming up on Oregon Sports Report, the Cardinal comeback. Kelly Graves and the Ducks had a halftime lead against Stanford, but Brittany McBuckets shot the Cardinal back into first place at MKA.
And that kid is, fearless, and it's funny, we actually called that at halftime.
The Beavers handled Cal this weekend, but it was the scene in postgame at Gill that everyone will remember.
It was a tough lesson the other night, and it hurt because we knew that was a winnable game.
In the pros, a pair of Ducks helped Philly bring home Super Bowl 52.
This is special for me, this is special for my family, this is special for our team.
While the Blazers took on the new-look Pistons in the Motor City. You're watching Oregon Sports Report.
The big thing that helped me was knowing that I didn't have to be Superman.
And it starts right now. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Oregon Sports Report. I'm Preston Highfield, here to bring you 30 minutes of sports coverage. It was a wild one this weekend, packed with all sorts of action. Let's start on the hardwood in men's hoops. The Ducks traveled to the Bay Area this weekend. Dana Altman and company had no problems with Cal, but Stanford proved to be a different story. Oregon tried all game and fell to the Cardinal 96-61. Stanford shot 62.5% from the field, and Dorian Pickens was on fire. 25 points, including 5 three-pointers. This marks as the worst loss in the Coach Altman era. Troy Brown led the Ducks with 15 points. They'll next return home to take on Washington on Thursday. Well, the Oregon State Beavers were also in the Bay over the weekend, looking to put an end to their losing skid, but things did not go according to plan. OSU had an early lead, but it slipped away as Cal nabbed the 4-point victory. It's just the Golden Bears' second conference win of the season. Stephen Thompson Jr. did have a solid game, 9 for 13 from the field, scoring 24 points. They'll look to turn things around by their next contest against another struggling team, the Washington State Cougars. That'll be on Thursday. Well, the Pac-12 standings shifted quite a bit after this weekend's action. Washington upset Arizona on Saturday. That was the Cats' second conference loss of the season. Arizona does still top the conference. The Ducks sit with a .500 record in Pac-12 play. Got a little ways to go near the top of the standings, and the Beavers extend their losing skid to 4. They're going to need a massive turnaround if they want a chance at sneaking into the big dance come March. Let's shift things to women's hoops. Nearing the end of the regular season, the Oregon Ducks have proven that they are the top team in the conference, but they met their match last night at Matthew Knight Arena. It was a packed house, over 5,000 fans. First place in the conference on the line, taking on Stanford. Picking up second quarter, Sabianescu. Oh yeah, the 3 count it and 1. 21-20 Ducks. Sab finished with 27-7. Third quarter, the Frosh, Satu Sabali. Speaking of and ones, gets the bucket to go. Oregon up by 6, but Stanford would tie it, and then Stanford's Brittany McPhee would go off. The jumper and slashes to the basket, count it, and the foul. And then the crossover, pump fake, and that is nasty. A career-high 33 points for her, 31 of those in the second half. Oregon suffers its first home loss of the season. Coach Graves on McPhee's dominant performance.
And that kid is, fearless, and it's funny, we actually called that at halftime. We said number 12 is going to come out because she didn't do much in the first half, and we figured that she was going to do what she did.
Our coaches told us she's a senior, she was going to come out and punch us, and she did, and we didn't punch back. And I think that's something that we're going to grow and continue to learn from. But she had a heck of a game, so props to her. She played well.
Well, with the loss, the Ducks fall into a tie with the Cardinal for first place in the Pac-12 standings. Over at Gill Coliseum, the Beavers held their annual Damn Cancer game, hosting number 25 Cal. Pink jerseys, looking great. First quarter, Katie Williams, her jumper's always looking great. 19 points, 2 of them there. OSU up by 6. Defensively, Oregon State was sharp. That's Taylor Kelmer stripping it and going coast to coast with the left for the score. Beavs were up 36-17 at the half, just cruising. In the second half, the offense continued to roll. Marie Gulich, 20 and 10, a double-double for her as the Beavers nab a 20-point victory. Head coach Scott Ruick noticed a big difference between this game and their loss to Stanford last Friday.
It was a tough lesson the other night, and it hurt because we knew that was a winnable game with that exception. I mean, we just got beat, flat out beat on the boards, and that hurt. And so I thought they responded very well.
Well, after the game, Coach Ruick's daughter, Kate, cut and donated her hair to the Damn Cancer movement. This is a tradition that began a couple of years ago. Former players Ruth Hamblin and Sydney Weiss have cut their hair in past years. Beavs next travel to take on the Washington schools. Well, the AP polls released their Week 14 ranking today, and with the loss to Stanford, the Ducks dropped 3 spots to number 9 in the country. UCLA jumps them after extending their winning streak to 8 games, so OSU stays put at 16. Check out the Cardinal, big movers from 24 to 17 after that sweep of the Oregon schools. Arizona State takes Cal's spot at number 25. Well, as spring collegiate sports inch closer, a couple of other Pac-12 polls were released today, and yet again, there's a ton of hype for the Oregon Ducks heading into the softball season. Let's take a look at the Pac-12 preseason coaches poll. The Ducks projected to win the conference. That's something that they've accomplished 4 of the last 5 seasons. Reigning Pac-12 champion Arizona has the 4th most votes. And despite coming off their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2013, the Beavers are picked to finish 8th in the pack. Beavs open their 2018 campaign Friday with a doubleheader starting with Oklahoma State. And the Ducks open up on Thursday taking on Georgia. We'll get a chance to hear from the Ducks tomorrow. And check it out, we got women's lacrosse coming to the Pac-12. The Ducks are picked to finish 4th in the inaugural Pac-12 season, receiving 13 votes. USC, your preseason favorite out of the 6 teams in the conference. Ducks will open their 2018 season against UC Davis Friday, February 16th. Let's stay with women's sports. The Oregon Acro and Tumbling team began their 2018 season tonight on the road taking on Concordia. It will be the first meet under newly named head coach Keon Won. And the Ducks open the year with a big win in Wisconsin, 267-89 to 225-305. That's your final. This marks the 2nd largest score differential in Oregon program history. The Ducks didn't lose a single heat on their way to victory. Oregon returns home to Eugene for their season opener against Coach Wan's former school. That would be Hawaii Pacific on Friday. Well, a week after going pro, it's been reported by FloTrack that former Oregon sprinter Hannah Cunliffe will sign with Adidas. The reigning NCAA 60-meter champion announced last Sunday that she is skipping her senior season at Oregon. An official announcement on her signing with Adidas is expected to come tomorrow. And the Oregon State wrestling team took care of business against Fresno State tonight, 33-3. This marked their final home match of the regular season, and they closed it out in style, earning their 3rd straight victory. Beavs will next travel to California before returning to Gill to host the Pac-12 championships February 25th. College Diamond sports are right around the corner, and the Oregon State baseball team has championship hopes in 2018. Ranked 2nd in the country to start the season, this team is stacked with future MLB talent, perhaps most notably infielder Nick Madrigal. Today, the junior was named first-team All-American by the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association. That's just one of his many preseason honors. Madrigal was asked if he focuses on the hype around him.
No, I don't. I mean, I treat it like the same game I've played my whole life. I know wearing this uniform has a lot bigger things than just myself. So, I mean, I try to play for my team, for this community. Like I said, we're just excited to get going, get the guys back on the field. So it'll definitely be nice to get out there.
Well, Oregon Ducks closer Kenyon Yovan has also been named first-team preseason All-American. The Ducks and Beavers open the 2018 season in their respective tournaments February 16th. Here on Oregon Sports Report, we want to remind you to try to exercise every single day. North Eugene's Pink Panthers soccer team showed great team spirit during the Kids Sports Soccer Jamboree. They played well and had fun hanging with teammates all weekend. Staying active is one of the best ways to stay healthy, so get out and play, people. Coming up after the break, Super Bowl 52 did not disappoint. US Bank Stadium played host to a barn burner last night. We'll have reaction from a former Duck. And are the Blazers gone cold? The team looked to avoid dropping their 3rd straight, closing out their road trip. Oregon Sports Report will be right back. Welcome back to Oregon Sports Report. Millions of eyes were glued to a television screen last night for the big game. Super Bowl 52 sure lived up to the hype. Highest total yards of offense ever in a Super Bowl, and the Patriots and Eagles laid it all out on the line. The 40-year-old Tom Brady hoping to nab his 6th ring, but you got the backup, Nick Foles, pulling off the improbable. Eagles up 6 in the second quarter. It is Brady hooking up with former Beaver Brandon Cooks for the huge game, but watch out. Malcolm Jenkins lays out Cooks. He's down for the count. Probably helmet to helmet, no flag. Cooks would not return to the game. Still in the second, former Duck LeGarrette Blount. He's loose. Break out the Duck tracker. Alex in the back is doing it. A 21-yard touchdown. And check it out, former Beaver Isaac Sayumala right there blocking for him. 15-3 fly, Eagles fly, then 4th down just before halftime. Oh, they call it the Philly special. It's Trey Burton to Foles for the touchdown. Eagles up 10 at halftime. Third quarter, though, Brady to Gronke. First quarterback in NFL history to lose a game while throwing for at least 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. That's regular season or postseason. But then back come the Eagles. It's Ertz with under 3 to play. Extends nearly 1,200 yards of offense in this game. Most total yards of any NFL game ever. Brady at the buzzer, trying to force overtime. Hail Mary is incomplete, and for the first time in their history, the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Nick Foles was named your Super Bowl MVP. Here he is after the upset win.
The big thing that helped me was knowing that I didn't have to be Superman. I have amazing teammates, amazing coaches around me, and all I had to do was just go play as hard as I could and play for one another, play for those guys. And, not look at the scoreboard, not look at the time, just go out there and play. Don't worry about it. And, came away with a victory.
I mean, losing sucks, but that's part of you. You show up and you try to win, and sometimes you lose, and that's the way it goes.
Well, All-Pro center Jason Kelce has been an Eagle his entire 7-year career. After being denied a Division I scholarship out of high school, an emotional Kelce spoke on his road to becoming a Super Bowl champion.
My father and mother told me to stay after my dream. And I've officially accomplished the best thing in this sport with a group of guys who mean the world to me. Because really, persistence is summed up my whole career, summed up my whole life. Just keep moving forward. No matter what obstacle comes in your way, just keep moving forward.
Well, running back LeGarrette Blount rushed for 90 yards and a touchdown en route to claiming his 3rd Super Bowl title. That ties Derek Lavelle and linebacker Mike Walter for most among Ducks alumni. Said he wasn't thinking about his first 2 titles with the Patriots during this game.
This is special, man. This is special. This is special for me. This is special for my family. This is special for our team. I can't speak on, the New England Patriots. It's all about us. I don't think anybody deserves it more than this team.
A big win for the city of Philadelphia, and with this victory, Philly joins New York City, Boston, Chicago, and LA as the only cities in the U.S. with a team to win in each of the 4 major pro sports. Their last win came in 2008 when the Phillies won the World Series. Well, a whopping 103.4 million people tuned into Sunday's big game, and that sounds like a big number. That's actually the smallest audience the Super Bowl has seen in the last 9 years. That was when the Steelers took down the Cardinals in the 2009 Super Bowl. The 103.4 million is down 7% from the 2017 Super Bowl. Regardless, last night's contest is now pegged as the 10th most watched program in American TV history. That's just after the MASH finale of February 1983. Looking ahead, the newly built Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta is set to host Super Bowl 53 in 2019. And while the dust begins to settle from the Super Bowl hoopla in Minneapolis, the city now begins to deconstruct all of the special features from around US Bank Stadium. But it won't happen overnight. Angela Davis reports.
The party is over, and the elaborate playground that seemed to pop up almost overnight on Nicollet Mall between 6th and 12th Streets is starting to slowly disappear. Are you glad to see it come down?
Absolutely glad. It's been a long few weeks.
The big purple banners proclaiming Super Bowl 52 were the first things to go. A nice souvenir?
I'd say absolutely. It's got my birthday listed on it.
How's everybody doing? The outdoor concert stage at 8th Street was a hot spot during the 10-day free festival known as Super Bowl Live. it's now just a memory. And don't forget about that bridge where folks could try out cross-country skiing and other winter sports. Most of the snow has now been removed from the Birkebeiner Bridge. And once it's completely dismantled, the structure is headed back home to Wisconsin.
It's good to have the streets back so we can all move around and have our own space again.
Over by U.S. Bank Stadium, cranes now replace the crowds. Some streets are starting to reopen in the restricted areas. The city of Minneapolis says by Monday afternoon, most of the closed sections will be reopened, but some closures will remain in effect through Tuesday.
Well, a Super Bowl host committee representative said Friday is the target date for all structures to be removed. Well, today it was announced that Matt Patricia will serve as the Detroit Lions' next head coach. Patricia served as the Patriots defensive coordinator since 2012. He's worked with the Pats since 2004. In his first head coaching job, he'll take over a Lions squad that did finish 9-7 this past season. Detroit has not won a playoff game, though, since 1991. Still no official word on Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels taking the Colts head coaching gig. Staying on the gridiron, we have an update on former Oregon quarterback Vernon Adams Jr. For the third time in his Canadian Football League career, Adams is on the move. Over the weekend, Adams was traded to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The 25-year-old is suited up for 33 CFL games with the Montreal Alouettes and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, making 3 starts under center. Adams will look to get some reps in Hamilton, Ontario for this next chapter of his football career. Well, let's shift things over to the NBA. Following yesterday's buzzer-beater loss to the Boston Celtics, the Portland Trail Blazers have now dropped back-to-back games, but the team still owns an impressive 7-3 record in their last 10. They look to improve upon that tonight in Detroit. Head coach Terry Stotts looking to head home to Oregon on a winning note. First quarter, the new guy in town, Blake Griffin, no longer jumping over Kias. Instead, he's hitting threes. Pistons up by 6. Second quarter, it's Blake again. I mean, he's a career 31% three-point shooter, but he's nailing these. Team high 21. Blazers went on a run to close out the first half. Dame Dollar with the lay-in. Portland trailing by just 5. Then Lillard again gets space, separates, and goes glass. Blazers down 6 in the third, but then Griffin to Andre Drummond for the alley-oop. This one was all Detroit. That might be a really good combination to watch. Pistons by 20. Blazers go 0-3 on their road trip. And we had just one former Duck in the association hit the hardwood tonight. It was Joe Young. He had a big game in the Pacers' loss to the Wizards. Young finished with 17 points. That's just 3 shy of his career high, which he set earlier this season in December. Young and the Pacers next travel to take on the Pelicans on Wednesday. Still ahead on OSR, we'll check in with current and former Ducks on the Lynx, plus more massive signings from the baseball Diamonds. We'll have all that and more when we return in a minute and a half. Welcome back to the show. After a 4-month break, the Oregon women's golf team teed off their 2018 spring season earlier today in Las Vegas. They took on the Washington State women's team in match play. 2 4-ball matches and a singles match was played today, and Oregon leads 2-1 after day 1. The duo of freshmen Maddie Daniel and Kathleen Scavo secured a win in their 4-ball match. Tomorrow's final round will be all singles match play matches. And the Oregon men wrapped up their season opening tournament in Hawaii, finishing 8th in the Amur Airy Invitational. Freshman Donald Kay led the way for the Ducks, shooting 9 under par, finishing tied for 9th on the individual leaderboard. That's his first career top 10 finish. Ducks next play the Prestige Tournament in La Quinta, California, starting February 19th. In pro golf, the Waste Management Phoenix Open wrapped up at the always rowdy TPC Scottsdale yesterday. Got a lot of college kids enjoying themselves. Ricky Fowler for Bird on 8, sinking it. He hit 3 straight bogeys on the back 9, though, and finished tied for 11th. Matt Kuchar on the famous 16th off the tee. He's liking it. The crowd's liking it. And that close to holing it, and you'll take it. Yeah, take your hat off. Tapping in for birdie. Crowd loves it. Lefty, Phil always putting on a show in the short game, but he's going to miss that. Pushed it right. Phil would finish tied for 5th at 14 under. Gary Woodland on 17, putting for the lead. He thinks that's a birdie to move to 18 under. Ches Reavie, the local kid, get in there. Oh, yeah. That would extend things to a playoff. Reavie and Woodland going to a sudden death playoff, in fact. But Woodland would set up this easy par putt for the win. The 33-year-old Gary Woodland earns his third career PGA win. Florida Duck Wyndham Clark missed the cut, by the way. Let's shift to baseball. The off-season signings just continue to roll in, and today multiple sources are stating that All-Star third baseman Tom Frazier is on the move yet again, but he won't have to go far this time. Reports say that the free agent has signed a 2-year deal worth $17 million to play for the New York Mets. Frazier was acquired by the Yankees prior to last season's trade deadline. He helped the Bombers during their playoff push. Next, he'll look to help turn around a Mets team that missed out on the postseason in 2017. The Mets are adding assets. Last month, they reacquired one of their former players in outfielder Jay Bruce. Pitchers and catchers report to spring training next week. Still ahead, some of the top plays from this past weekend's action. We'll have them for you ready after the break. Thanks for watching this edition of Oregon Sports Report. For more information, you can check us out on OregonSfox.com. We are also on Twitter. You can follow us at OR Sports Report for all of your Northwest sports coverage. Top play time brought to you by George and Sutton RV. It is the You're Going to Like It Year top plays from the weekend. First up, Pacers Sixers. Indy with the rebound, and check out this pass from Lance Stevenson. Always fooling around to Domantas Sabonis, the son of Arvydas. Rip City, baby. Lance Stevenson is always fooling. Pacers would win on Saturday. No one's going to believe this, but I actually played a pickup game in LA with Lance Stevenson one time. Let's go to the ice. Next top play, Oilers Lightning. Connor McDavid on a break somehow goes top shelf past Andrei Vasilevsky. Look at that. Nifty play from the second-year All-Star. Edmonton shocking the Bolts 6-2. Back to the hardwood for our next top play. Oklahoma and Press Virginia in men's hoops. You know who it is if it's Oklahoma. Trae Young, coast to coast, but look at the English off the top of the backboard. No foul called either, by the way. But 17th ranked Oklahoma upset at home by the Mountaineers, 75-73. Young had 30. Our top play from the weekend, so nice, we'll show it twice. Super Bowl 52, Corey Clement, the direct snap to Trey Burton, who throws to Nick Foles. And of course, that was getting fancy on 4th down just before the half. Obviously, a huge momentum play in the game. They said they worked on it all week, called it the Philly Special, stole it from Minnesota, and it worked against Bill Belichick as the Eagles shocked the world. Thanks for watching Oregon Sports Report. We'll see you tomorrow.